Alright, so in today's video I want us to talk about the area and perimeter of plane figures or shapes. Okay, so we have here that the area of a plane figure or shape is the amount of space it occupies, and then the perimeter of a plane figure or shape is the total distance around it. Okay, so the plane figure that I want us to consider in the first case is a triangle. Okay, triangle. So triangle is a plane figure with what, 3 sides. Okay, plane figure with 3 sides is what we call the triangle. So let's look at the typical diagram for triangle. Okay, and remember this triangle is not drawn to scale. Okay, so we have the base, which is B, and then well, our height H. Okay, so if you have a triangle, then the area is given by this formula that we have here: half times the base times what, the height. Okay, so as I said, H is the height, B is the base. And one thing that I also want you to note is this, that always the height is perpendicular to the base. Okay, so if you look at this triangle, you realize that the height here is perpendicular to our base that we have here. Okay, all right, and what that means is that always the height forms an angle of 90 degrees. So what we have here is what is 90. Are you getting it? So let's take note of that. All right, so quickly I want us to look at this question that we have here. So you're supposed to find the area and perimeter of these. The area here. Alright, so let's consider the first triangle that we have here. Okay, we're supposed to find the area and perimeter. Okay, so from what we said already concerning area and perimeter, you can see that the area, in this case I'll use A, is going to give us what? Half times the base times the height. Okay, so you are going to do a quick substitution, and the half is always constant, so times our base here is 12 centimeter times our height which is 5 centimeter. Is that okay? Alright, so when we simplify, if we find half of 12 is 6, so 6 times 5 will give us what? 30 centimeter squared. Then perimeter P, and with this P is going to, as we say, perimeter is the total distance around the figure, so we have 12 centimeter plus 10 centimeter plus what? Plus 9 centimeter. Okay, so when we add all of this, we are going to get what, 31 centimeter. Is that okay? Let's come to the second question. So area will be half times base times height. Remember the half is a constant, so we are going to do a quick substitution again. So we have half times, we have 10 meters times height, which is what, 4 meters. We are just doing substitution. So this again will be half times 10 will give us 5. 5 times 4 is going to give us, so we have 20 meters squared. And our perimeter P will be equal to the total distance. The total distance around the figure. Okay, so the total distance around the figure that we have here. So that is going to be, we have 10 meters plus 11 meters plus 9 meters. Okay, so when you add all of these, 10 plus 11 plus 9, we are going to have 30 meters. Now let's come to the third question that we have. You're supposed to find the area and perimeter. Again, we can say area A is given by half times what, base times the height. Let's do a quick substitution. So we have half times our base here is 8.5 centimeter times our height is 3.5 3.5 centimeter. Okay, so when you multiply half times 8.5 times 3.5, you are going to get 14.875 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's the area. Perimeter P is going to give us 8.5 centimeter plus 7.5 centimeter plus 9.5 centimeter. Let me write it well. So 9.5 centimeter. And when we add all of this, we are going to get 25.5 centimeter. Okay, so that's how we find the area and perimeter of a triangle. Okay, so now let's look at the right angled triangle. So if you have a right angled triangle, you're supposed to find the area. How do we go about that? Okay, so the same formula applies to the right angled triangle. So the area, and remember the right angled triangle is a triangle which has one of its interior angle to be 90 degrees. Okay, so this is the 90 degrees. Are you getting it? All right. So the area is tail half times what times base what times height. So in this case, our base is going to be 10 centimeter, and times our height is going to be what? 6 centimeter. We say that height is always perpendicular with the base. Okay. All right. So if you do this, half times 10 is going to be 5, and 5 times 6 will give us what? So we have 30 centimeters squared. Perimeter P will be, we say perimeter is the total distance around the figure, so it's going to be 10 centimeter plus 12 centimeter plus what? 6 centimeter. Is that okay? Alright, so when we add all of this, then we are going to have, so 10 plus 12 will give us 22, 22 plus 6 give us 28 centimeter squared. No, it's not centimeter square, sorry, it's going to be centimeter because we're talking about area. So it's going to be centimeter, not squared. Alright. Okay, so let's look at the second question. You're supposed to find the area of this right angle triangle. So area is still half times base times height. Let's do a substitution. We have half times the base here is now 8 meters times the height, which is what? 7 meters. So if we find half of 8, we are going to get 4. The 4 times 7 will give us what? 28 meter squared. So that's the area. Then perimeter is going to give us, we say the perimeter is the total distance around the figure. So we're going to have 8 meters plus 7 meters plus 9 meters. Is that okay? Alright, so when we add all of this, then we are going to have 24 centimeters. So that's how we find the area of a right angled triangle. Alright.